group here is from Toronto, Mississauga, Brampton area. They've been doing protesting in the Greater Toronto area for the last 2+ years. And they've got a collection of banners and flags, and they've come into Ottawa to protest. And then there will be a few others that will be going into the press gallery to do a press announcement, or, press to say about the freedom movement and their reaction to what's gone on in this last season in the House, and some other announcements that they have to make.
The National Citizens Inquiry experts have come forward and said that it's neither safe nor effective, and a matter of fact, it does more harm than good on children.
What are your thoughts on the relationship the overall relationship between Canadians? Have you seen a change since when you were younger to today?
Absolutely. Maybe we were naive then or something, but I think we all had, even until really the government came in and mandated that we had to take injections and that we would be locked down and all that. Really since 2020, early 2020, late 2019, you saw the tyrannical means in which this government and many others have behaved. And so our trust of them went way down, and my position as a Canadian has changed completely. I'm no longer I still feel proud to be a Canadian, but not like I used to. The World Economic Forum I knew nothing about until the last couple of years, so, it was just not part of my radar. I just, like everybody else, just having a life, working, going on vacation, raising your family, and we're just going along innocently and certainly naively, and then all of this exploded as perhaps a means to push their agenda. I don't know. So yeah, absolutely. Where are you on the what side of camp are you on? Camp positive or camp where this is all going in the downhill slope here? I'm on camp. I'm on camp. I still have hope. Otherwise I wouldn't come out here. I wouldn't do what I do. I wouldn't protest. I wouldn't try and speak to members of Parliament. I wouldn't do what I do if I had no hope. So I have hope, but that hope is getting less and less, because they just do whatever they want.
Tell me about your the forms of protest you've done and what brings you out.
My forms of protest has been on the street with flags. I come into Ottawa occasionally. I live in Toronto, but I go up to one of the towns north, and we have a really friendly, family-oriented protest, with flags and calling freedom and, sharing food, and we have a really nice time and trying to keep that energy of what it is to be Canadian, waving our flag and hugging each other and being Canadian.
How many more ethnic violations are we going to accept? SCN Loveland, where Trudeau was caught trying to change the criminal code 177 for corruption because he knew what he was doing was corrupt. Jody Wilson, Raybould, Jay Potapont, fired by him for those incidents, ethnic violations.
It's an interesting question, what forms of of protest, because we do all sorts of forms of protest, one being on the street and waving flags and showing banners, and the other one just talking to people, even like with you, and you're filming. I take film. I do my best when I'm in Ottawa, specifically to speak to the MPs. That's kind of my thing. And just get to be known, have that bridge, create a bridge between them in the House and us as citizens, because they really don't want to talk to us. So even all, people that have been writing their letters, including, I've done that as well, but writing letters to MPs, whether it's by mail, like snail mail, or by email, they don't get answered. They don't talk to us. And that's a big frustrating point, which is, we would all get frustrated if we have a relationship of whatever sort and there's no communication. So people get frustrated. And then we end up, getting more and more angry. So I've been doing what I can for the last 2 years when I come to Ottawa, especially, to come and just stand and try and talk to them, get them to shake my hand, anything. You good? So, you know, they say things in the house, you know, that don't really translate out here so much. And, you know, they're protesting in there, let's say the opposition are protesting the government in there. I'm not sure why they set up over there, but, and we're protesting out here. We're opposing, but we have to somehow bridge the gap. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I've been relatively successful in that they'll talk to me. That's a big thing. I put these stickers up. Theylied.ca. This is a really very good website to get information from. That's us, Tyrant Patrol. And the more, you know, we start protesting because of the mandates around the COVID. You know, I say COVID like that. They just keep on adding things to our reason to protest. I said earlier that the fact that there's known traitors in the House of Commons and they just do business as usual. Like, how are we supposed to even deal with that?
Hi there, sir. What do you think about the issue of abortion?
I'm okay, thank you.
Do you think it's okay at all 9 months? Hi there, sir. What do you say?
You're for
None of
abortion
your
or
business
against
what
it?
I do with my body.
Against you, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay, have a great day, sir.
Somebody on your side.
It's pretty radical either way, we find. Very few people don't really stand in the middle, right? Yeah.
How hard is it for you to do this? Are you out of your comfort zone in your own personal being, protesting sort of thing? The mindset of a protester, take me into that.
Oh, well, professional protesting is a difficult job, obviously, because, you know, you have to kind of become desensitized to people's opinions of you. And that actually hurts a lot, because you start to harden your heart when someone gives a compliment. You're like, that's great, but the next second they could turn on you and be really vicious. So I try and just not, like, you know, get my emotions too invested so I can stay calm and always, you know, just present, I think, the logical arguments for it. Howdy, ma'am. What do you think about the issue of abortion? I want to hear your thoughts. Okay, have a great day. Some bite, some don't.
Can you explain why you're out here today and what brings you out?
Yeah, we're here exposing the truth about abortion to Canadians here today in Ottawa, showing the reality of what abortion actually does to a preborn child.
What is the present condition in terms of laws and so forth in Canada? What do we need to know?
Yeah, here in Canada there is no law against abortion. Abortion happens through all 9 months of pregnancy. There's nothing that restricts any abortion here in Canada.
And is your part of your work to try and bring some of the restrictions to the abortion? Is that what your ambition is?
Our work is just educating Canadians on the truth of what abortion is, having conversations to change people's hearts and minds.
I'd like to give you that opportunity. Can you give us an education on how you feel about this?
Yeah, so I believe that every single human being is worthy of having human rights. And if we say that all humans are deserving of human rights, that should start when a human starts. And we know from science that a human being comes into existence at the moment of fertilization. So if we know all humans should get human rights and a human being becomes a human at the moment of fertilization, this is a human rights violation. And tearing apart children limb from limb is not something that can happen in a society that stands up for human rights.
Your ability to do this is fundamental to Canadian democracy. The people protesting, that's one thing I've learned about following this project is there are a lot of people in your position. Everybody who comes here takes a position, and this point about having a hardened heart, everybody faces rejection by everybody who walks by at some point. Not everybody agrees with their point of view, but especially the Freedom Convoy people, they kind of enforce the fact that, hey, this is democracy. This is the pillars of it. this ability to stand at this gate, you know, because now they took the gate down, but they would argue that the ability to stand here and protest at this gate is democracy. The people against the government, I was keeping them in check.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this government is the most pro-abort government in Canadian history. Right? I mean, Justin Trudeau has expressed that he believes abortion is a fundamental right, fundamental human right, and I absolutely believe quite the opposite. I believe that life is actually more valuable than liberty when those two human rights come in conflict, because obviously human rights do come in conflict. My liberty, for instance, could get in the way of your property if I wanted to take your car, for instance. So I definitely think that, you know, life comes before liberty. And I don't think I have the liberty to take your life, because then you lose life, liberty, property, pursuit of happiness. Literally, you've got no rights. So if we don't actually stand here for the most vulnerable members of our society, I believe that there are no human rights actually going to be left in Canada. You know, they're already saying that some people just on disabilities, you know, people who are disabled are less valuable in this country, and it's disgusting. You know, children with Down syndrome, for instance, are aborted in over 90% of cases where they discover it in the womb. And you know, if you said to somebody who did have Down syndrome, who's out in the world right now, it'd be better if you're dead. That's the logic of the abortionist. They think that they would be better dead. Yeah.
This is our new Canada, the new election interference results in our country. Unchecked, blind eye. What do you think their back passes were like?
Any kind of thing against the government, any of this stuff would be considered hate crime to the government. And they'll put me in jail for life under that bill C-63 that they are pushing. You know what I mean? Foreign interference showing its ugly face in our country. Just like this man in a public change room going into the swim of a 12-year-old girls into their change room and into the shower and undressing, and parents are to accept this. And police officers are to blind eye. Just like the foreign interference, blind eye. Right? Rise up. Gotta save our children because they won't.
What was the message you were going to put on the steps?
Traitors. Treason of the highest. And that's the walk of shame. That's it.
How far did you get? You got to a couple of words?
I got TRA and he started coming down the steps at me. And I had a bad experience already with these guys, so I ran away. I told my story, and it's 1 year to the day that I was arrested for words. So, Jock, they're hungry for you. Like they like to. I noticed one thing about these guys here is they like to grab at the women. 2 days ago, they grabbed another woman, threw her in the back seat of that vehicle for an hour and a half.
Why?
Because she yelled at Jagman Singh, treason, traitor.
Look like they're coming down for something now.
Right?
What are they doing here? I have to serve you guys something?
I don't know. Probably coming to me to serve.
They're going to come to see you?
Serve me for chalking on there, right? Watch. Here, Patricia, here's another 1 year.
How do you know? Because your dad remembers seeing the same guy for 5 days. So it goes from Kent Street to Canal, Wellington. So this is a trespass for you, okay, my friend?
For what's that for?
So the incident that happened this week. So you have all the information.
Okay.
Thank you.
What's the trespass for?
Okay.
Trespass for what?
Trespassing.
Okay.
Girl's been trespassed.
Okay.
Hi, you
Hey.
Where?
there?
Okay. Sir.
there?
Sir. Sir.
question. Hi, sir. Okay, no, never mind. I don't want you to get on. I don't want you to
If you'd like to educate me on why you're here, I'd love to hear it.
Absolutely. So my name is V. Bowie. I'm with the Council of Canadians, and one organization that mobilize grassroots actions and towards people, planet, and democracy. For the last 8 years, we have been raising awareness of and holding the government accountable on the Trudeau government's 2015 election promise to end all long-term drinking water advisories on First Nations. So that commitment was supposed to be by 2021. A lot of delays have happened because of the pandemic. But we know that to this day, there's still 26 long-term drinking water advisories, and that means those are in place for a year or longer. Some are actually, there are also short-term, plenty more short-term drinking water advisories, as well as some communities that haven't, like Neskantaga, who have not had drinking water for 25 years. So that's unacceptable. We know that water is a human right. It's one of the key issues that we advocate for. We know that that means that everybody, no matter where you background, you come from, where you live, should have free access to clean drinking water across the board. And it's unacceptable that a country like Canada there are people who live in this country, and in fact, other people who have been on the front line of defending the land and the water are still not having access to drinking waters where they are. And a lot of this is the outcome of an ongoing colonization of Indigenous peoples, marginalization, pushing them into reserve, and then failing to provide them with the adequate funding and resource and support to be able to actually live a fulfilling, a life full of dignity.
Can you tell me about why you're wearing this shirt today?
Today is Canada's National Indigenous Peoples Day, June the 21st. And so I'm here to represent my native Métis heritage.
Are you guys coming in here? Yes. Amazing. I'm excited for you to check it out.
Across the street is the old American Embassy, which is now Canada's official Indigenous Peoples House. So we've reclaimed it. Today is their grand reopening. A lot of their art exhibits and pieces have come back and are on display. And so we're encouraging people to come out and support Native heritage and just join us together and celebrate the Indigenous people of Canada and the world.
So today is National Indigenous Peoples Day. We have a small event here to teach people about Indigenous culture. We have the Métis, the First Nations, and the Inuit, and there is a section in here to learn about all three. And we are also teaching more so contemporary things, parts of culture that still exist, and I think that's an important part of Indigenous culture. We are still here.
So this is the third time I've done this iteration of this chalk art. It's the Métis symbol, the eternal symbol, but that's now the Métis symbol. A dream catcher that also has a medicine wheel, so it's a two-in-one, it's a twofer, that's a native thing. And then a stylized flower, which is like a native stylized flower. And a Canada maple leaf. Indigenous Heritage Month and Pride Month are all in the same month, June. And what two better communities to show their Native and Pride. So it's the rainbow flag. And the message is today is Indigenous Peoples Day. Join together, show support, show your Native pride. All my relations everywhere. Thank you.
How are you doing? Good. Excited to be here. Nice to see you. It is super important to have representation on Wellington. We, as Indigenous people, are a huge part of the history of this country, and so to have somewhere across from Parliament looking over. I think it's just important for us to take up that space. I think also, as such a big part of the country, tourists need to learn about Indigenous culture, and so having the space open to tourists as a gallery to learn specifically about Métis culture, as well as the First Nations and Inuit that are in there, I think that's really important. I think it's important for tourists to be able to come in and even learn a little bit. If you're in Canada, it's important to learn about the Indigenous people.
How does it make you feel to see you dancing?
I think it's so wonderful to see this type of fun, colorful, vibrant show of Canadian heritage, Native, Indigenous heritage here in the downtown. We see so little of it displayed anywhere. Sometimes on the hill you'll see some people in their regalia or women wearing ribbon dresses, but today and hopefully in September for Truth and Reconciliation Day, again, we'll have hopefully a really good show today, but and then too, it'll be our 4th year for Truth and Reconciliation, so 4.
So we're here to actually follow up on this project called the Water Drop. So every year on World Water Day, we educate elementary. We send out a package including educational program activities for elementary school children to learn about the reality of drinking water crisis in First Nations and invite them to learn more about why water is important. And then they send their own message to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, calling on him to fulfill his promise to end this crisis. So today we're here with almost 1,000 water drops that carrying messages from elementary students across the country that are, we hope to deliver it to the Prime Minister today on National Indigenous Peoples Day to once again send these messages from people who are the future of this country, people who understand what's at stake, and we also people who can communicate this problem in such pure, simple, with such moral clarity that everybody deserves drinking water and that it's unacceptable and this crisis must end immediately, and that is up to the Prime Minister to deliver that promise. Thank you.
Can I get a couple of samples of the work that you're talking about?
Absolutely. So we have some here. Yep, I can just through them. The children are encouraged to draw their own messages, and they also learn about the school that they're in, baby. And yeah, go for it, baby. And then the watershed that they live in. So there's an opportunity to also educate about the context in which they learn about their drinking water, where it comes from, what other local Indigenous communities that whose land they are on. So these are some of the messages. These are from folks from Treaty 1 in Winnipeg. There are more of them in here. Yeah, we have countless of them. And these are students that have, yeah, these are folks from here on Wendat. They are. Can you get someone to help you separate them? Yeah. So, and these are some buttons. Thank you, Benji. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I am more. But if you need to see them.
So how did you coordinate this with all the different schools? It's incredible.
Hi. So we have the Council of Canadian consists of a network of 150,000 supporters. And we have built a curriculum, essentially like a teacher package, and then do a massive outreach to parents, to teachers, through teachers unions, as well as just everyday people who have children in their life who want to bring this kind of programming forward. And then with the support, the incredible support of the network of very thoughtful educators and teachers, we were able to. They coordinate the programming, and then they send the water drops into us.
Tell us about your Métis culture and your heritage and the dance that you were just performing.
Yeah, so that is the Métis jig. That's a very Alberta jig. I learned from someone from Manitoba and then another person from Saskatchewan, and I'm still told that my dance steps look like I'm from Alberta. I have maternal roots in Buffalo Lake Métis settlement. My mom grew up in northern Alberta. I'm also Mohawk, and so I'm a good mix. A lot of people confuse Métis people with being First Nations and some kind of colonizing background, and that's not true. Métis originated during the fur trade, and so it's a very distinct culture. And so I always say that I'm both Métis and Mohawk. I have knowledge of my Métis heritage through dancing, beadwork, and then separately through Mohawk powwow dancing and a different style of beadwork.
When did you become aware of this, and then did it impact you to know it was impacting Indigenous people?
Right? So I think I learned about this through my work with the Council of Canadians, but I think this is not the only place in which we see ourselves as a group of people who see so clearly that the future that we want to fight for, if we want to fight for climate justice, for water protection, for a healthy democracy, that future has to center Indigenous people. And we know that like the history of ongoing colonization of Canada is one of the root causes of a lot of problems that we hear. So the Council of Canadians since 1984 have been working alongside Indigenous people through a variety of struggles, whether it's LC Poktok, whether opposing large pipeline projects. We have a close and strong relationship with many local Indigenous communities across the country who are land defenders, water defenders. We work closely with Silverton, Grassy Narrows. We are currently standing alongside Quebec First Nations as they oppose nuclear waste disposal on their community, on their territory. So we know that like Indigenous communities have been bearing the brunt of the work of defending the land and the water that we all benefit from. And we see ourselves as an organization that's largely settler-led to have a responsibility in stepping into this work and educating. I think that a lot of the important part of this is educating the next generation about the history of colonization and how that is affecting people right now, and how we can come together and support Indigenous people, centering their voice, but also winning the critical, like the thing that we all deserve, like clean water, clean air, like a place to live, that sort of thing.
What would you say that most Canadians don't understand about First Nations issues?
That it's not just First Nations issues, that it's Indigenous issues altogether. I think they don't understand why self-governance for us as Indigenous people is so important. We have a lot of knowledge of this land, and we don't have access to it. And so, yeah, I would keep it at that.